Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. So I'm an assistant professor of education at Harvard Grad School of Education. So I do research around kids and AI, but mostly approach it through a developmental psychology and human-computer interaction approach. It is very humbling and uplifting to be in company of many of you whose work and lived experiences have inspired my work, including my 10-year-old son over there, who's a heavy but critical AI user. Um, yeah, so what the central kind of the through line of my work has been really into children's conversation or dialogue with AI. So this is very important for me because we know from developmental psychology research, learning sciences research, how much children could learn from just asking questions and then listening to another person sharing their perspectives. And now we're at a stage or time where AI could also stand in as the conversational partner, right? So children could ask questions to AI, or AI could also ask questions to encourage children to answer, or even offer some sort of companionship. So I'm very curious, this shift, if it has any implications on children's development. So I would have to say that this possibility, so people have very polarized views of this possibility. Some are very excited, right? So we have this very unique way children could learn and gain additional opportunities to learn. But a lot of people are concerned about if AI would kind of shortcutting children's thinking, or what it means by this genuine human connections. So I'm hoping that in the next 10 minutes or 8 minutes, I could just offer a little bit of empirical evidence from my own research that we could ground or anchor some of our discussions. So first, we know that actually from my own research and a lot of the research from the other research groups that well-designed AI can support children's learning. So this is one of my research projects in collaboration with PBS Kids. So we're building interactive television shows where the main character of the show would actually pause and ask children questions. And the character uses automatic speech recognition and natural language processing to kind of understand children's responses and then provide feedback or follow-up questions based on what a child says. So those are the two PBS Kids shows we have worked on so far. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with those shows. And you could see the kind of questions that the characters are asking. So the goal is really to spark children's curiosities about the questions or problems that the characters encounter. So I could show you a very short video of a child interacting with Lila, who kind of encountered a problem that she doesn't know how to use loop to operate her robot.
No! Last time, we used the loop to make stew clean up the marshmallows quickly. This time, a loop led to a big mess. Stew decorated the whole restaurant with frosting. Why didn't the loop work this time?
Because you didn't say to stop anywhere.
Right! I forgot to tell Stu when to stop. Whoa! We have a lot of cookies to decorate.
We have done a lot of studies comparing if this kind of interactive videos could indeed turn television watching into a more engaging and active learning experiences. So indeed, the results are very consistent across all our studies. So when children had the opportunity to converse with the main character, their learning benefits significantly increased. This not only include their comprehension of the science concepts introduced, but they're also better able to apply what they learn to solve a novel problem in another context. And in a follow-up study, we have also found that when children converse with a character, it actually achieves comparable learning outcome as they converse with a tutor during television watching. And we have to also looked at, so in the scenario I just showed you before, it was really the characters asking or AI asking pedagogical questions with an intent to teach a specific learning objectives. But I have always been very curious if AI could also provide opportunities for children to ask questions. So they're not just the ones who answer the question, but they have the agency to ask questions. So indeed, in our studies, we also found that AI really as an empowerment to enable children's information seeking. So we see the depth of questions children ask their AI partners, which is kind of mirror the way children seek information from an adult informant. And we also found that children could actually adjust their subsequent information-seeking behaviors based on their own judgment of the qualities of the AI responses they received. But if you think that I'm going to suggest that AI could replicate all the benefits of conversing with humans, that's not my argument. So I wanted to take you to another scenario, just some unique aspects of human interactions that is also pretty difficult to be replicated by AI. So I'm going to show you a kind of two audio clips from my own study. So in these audio clips, children are talking with an AI partner to create a story. So we chose this scenario because it's a very common childhood activity, and it's also conducive to language development.
What do you want our main character to be?
A chicken.
That's interesting. What's the character's name?
Frederick.
So in this case, a child is kind of talking with an AI to decide what the character should be.
Main character to be.
I want it to be a moth.
A moth? Wow.
Because my pet moth just died at school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which is sad, but it was kind of hard keeping him alive.
I think it's also already pretty obvious for all of you to kind of sense the differences between the two types of interactions. So there are many ways for us to, researchers to quantify these differences. I'm going to show you a few examples. The first one is we looked at the response rate. So children are actually more active when there was a human partner talking with them and asking questions. And we also look at how elaborate the responses are, just how much additional information they provide in their responses, going beyond the yes or no or a direct answer to the question. And we also see that children are more likely to bring up emotional elements and also bring up personal anecdotes that are related to the conversation. So we see that it seems that conversing with a human still seem to be more engaged and relational, at least in our own studies. But kind of why? So this is the next question we're very curious about. So we think that in part it stems from children's own perception of AI's capability and how they see this entity as interaction partners. So in one of our studies, we look at that, and we found that children are actually able to differentiate AI versus human capacity. So a lot of them do not believe that AI have the capacity to feel sensations and emotions. And they also do not believe AI as having this genuine agency could make their own decisions. And so this capacity to differentiate between these two types of interlocutors actually emerged when a child is as young as 4 years old. And you could see that the gap between AI and human is increasing as children grow older. Okay, so to conclude that, but what is my point here? So I just wanted to conclude by saying that, yeah, so we see a lot of benefits children having these AI companions to learn and to converse, but we also see these unique differences and advantages of having these human connections in relationships. So this really reminded us to think about how we should treat AI as a unique complement to children's experiences and all the other resources they have in their life for education and for learning and for development. And to think about how AI could facilitate information exchanges. I think now AI is actually doing pretty good in providing information, and also children actually do recognize AI's unique advantage in empowering them and enabling them for informational access. But it's really this social connection piece. So there is a lot of ongoing work to improve the social dimensions of AI, including supporting this back and forth social cues and then emotional tones. But there is some aspects that children understand, which is this genuine empathy and mutual understanding or unique lived experiences that is probably difficult to replicate, at least at this stage. Yeah, so I think at this time, so we probably wanted to so there are two things that we could do to how to try to think about how we could maximize the benefits and reduce some of the risks. So the first one is to help children maintain these healthy boundaries with AI. I think this approach not only aligns with children's natural intuitions of AI as the results I just showed you, but also foster critical understanding of AI's limitations and strength. And at the same time, we should be intentional about designing AI systems that actively encourage human connections, compensating some of the areas that AI cannot replicate at this stage. So I think ultimately our challenge is to really maximize these unique opportunities while ensuring that children's well-being, agency, and relationships remain at the heart of how we design and implement AI systems. Good. Good.